Sheesh. It's me. What you expect? You want topics? Bet. We got some coming up for you. Yeah, sure. It's been another episode of the We Here Now podcast. I am your boy Mario on point, here to keep y'all on point. So let's just get to the point. Something at the news. A lot of people been talking about it. So you know what we're gonna do here. We're gonna talk about it. Judge rules that NFL player Tyreek Hill is the father of another child. He reportedly has over 12 children, and it's his fifth kid so far this year. Now let's talk about it, because Tyreek was getting a lot of backlash from the amount of kids he has, the number of baby mamas, and how frequently he's been having them. Now, if you guys don't know, like it was said before in the post, Tyreek Hill is an NFL player for the Miami Dolphins, right? Now, when I preface it like that, I just said he's an NFL player. He's not a scrub, top 5 wide receiver, whatever you want to talk about it. So, obviously, he has the money to take care of these kids, right? Now, people was kind of getting at him, having a lot of kids, a lot of different baby mamas, all the other stuff. Now, when Tyreek was asked about it, he just said he's from the South. That's what they do, okay? Now, this isn't the first NFL player to have a bunch of kids, but probably the last one in a few years that we really actually cared about, because usually the NFL players don't have children as often as Tyreek Hill is having them. Now, maybe you'll see this from like a rapper or something like that, where, their life is a little bit more flexible and not so standard and organized like maybe like a professional athlete is. But at the end of the day, he's a professional athlete, right? So I don't see why he was getting so much backlash for this, because I can understand if it's like, I don't know, let's just say like, I don't even want to say like a job. Let's say somebody that only makes like $35,000 a year and they're having this many kids. Okay, I can see why that might be alarming or why that might be a problem. But this is an NFL player. Now, even with his strict schedule, he has the financial ability to be able to take care of the kids. But it raises another question. Okay, you got the money to take care of the kids, but at the end of the day, when you have kids, it's not about just what you can buy for them. It's about actually being in their life and actually being a parent. But even with that being said, right, when you're in a different tax bracket, it might be hard for someone who doesn't make that much money to be able to go state to state or even city to city to make time for his kids. As a professional athlete, he has the money, he has the accessibility to have any type of transportation that he needs to get to see his kids as frequently as he wants to, right? So I don't think that's the problem. I think what people will actually be most upset about is if he turns out that he is a deadbeat dad and he's actually not taking care of these kids and he's not actually in their kids' life. That's what you can kind of give him flack for, right? But it's still too early to say, because as long as you're being a good father and you're actually being present in your kid's life, I think that's all that really matters. Like the material stuff, like, yes, you can buy them whatever, they can have a good life, but like children need more than just something you can provide them with for a good life, because when they're young like that, they're not even going to remember all the stuff that you actually gave them. All those young memories is going to be the memories that they have with spending with, their father or their mother, family time, right? So as long as Tyreek Hill is still able to be in this kid's life and not just make it a thing where, I bought my kid this and I bought my kid this, I don't think it's really a problem. Now, the problem I had was, like I said, it was a lot of people that was giving them backlash for this, right? But he's in a different situation than the average human is. For the average person, human, whatever you want to call it, to have that many kids in that span of time might be a problem, right? But if you have access to whatever transportation financially that you can actually be in your kid's life, I really don't think it's going to be a problem. Now, the problem that he might have with having so many kids and so many different baby mamas, the child support. It don't matter how much money you make, if you constantly are paying child support for numerous kids, it's obviously going to affect you. We've seen basketball players, NFL players, just professional athletes in general, rappers, be on the high end when it comes to the tax bracket and watch all that slowly dwindle away because of, not paying child support, got a little back pay on the child support, or even if you are keeping up with the child support, you got so many kids, you dish out this money. If you're not still a professional athlete or you're not still in your field of business where it's caused you to make this much money, that's where it's going to be the problem. Tyreek Hill is still in the league. So as far as I'm concerned, he will still be able to take care of this, right? Now, a lot of people, in the peanut gallery talking about, oh, that's not fair and yada, yada, yada. We really just got to wait to see how this unfolds because I haven't heard any reports from any of the baby mamas saying that Tyreek Hill is a bad father. Now, some of his baby mamas did make some other claims about Tyreek Hill, but it doesn't pertain to how he's actually taking care of his kids. So we just got to wait and see how this truly plays out. But just off rip, I'm already hoping for the best for the time. I'm already hoping the best for Tyreek Hill because, as a black man, you already have that moniker that, that you already are going to be a deadbeat dad. And I don't think we just put these titles on people before it's actually being shown. Like, the average person's like, oh, I'd be a bad dad if I had 12 kids. But it's it's a case-by-case situation. Everybody's situation is different, right? Now, it comes down to years, and Tyreek Hill is always with his kids. You see him going to, events, and he got all his kids. You see him out and about with his kids. A lot of y'all going to owe him an apology because a lot of you guys are just doubting him based off what you think you can or what you can't do. We don't know what Tyreek Hill is capable to do as a father. The people who know Tyreek Hill, the average fan, football watcher, whatever, we know him about his play on the field. Great football player. I don't know how he is as a dad, so I'm not just going to be like, oh, Tyreek Hill, he got too many kids. He can't be a dad. He's going to be a deadbeat dad or whatever the case may be. We just got to see how this all plans out. But the question I really have is, for some of y'all, I was chiming in, giving you a little 2 cents about what you would do and what you wouldn't stand for. Now I'm going to ask y'all. Now I'm specifically asking y'all to answer me. Can y'all be with somebody with so many kids? Whether it's a boyfriend, a baby daddy. If you're a female in this situation, how would you feel about the situation? Because I'm not even going to ask men how they feel about, a woman having so many kids. Because without saying the answer, I could probably assume how that would go over. But that's just me. You know what I mean? I don't know it to be a fact or anything like that. That's just how I feel personally. And the next question I have, is this irresponsible or unfair to his kids? Now, I did talk about him being able to have the accessibility to, travel, the finance to get to his kids and do for his kids so his kids would never go without. But we really got to think about, is this unfair to his kids? How are his kids going to feel when they get older and maybe, okay, this Christmas you spend with this half of your kids and this half of your kids and this half of your kids? I think that's when it's going to start to get the waters are going to start to get a little muddy, just because, that's a lot of kids. You know what I mean? Like, just having 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 is a lot, but being who he is doesn't change the fact that he does have a lot of kids, and that's always something you got to think about. So I want to know what you guys feel about that. Is this irresponsible or is it unfair to his kids? Because like I said, everybody, that's why I always say it's a case-by-case situation. I need to do a segment called case-by-case situation because something that works in somebody else's relationship might not work in somebody else's relationship, right? Everybody is different. Everybody has different understandings and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, we don't know if these women aren't okay with it because, okay, let's think about the 4th baby mom that decided to have kids with him, and he already had 8 kids, right? You made a choice to have kids with this man, knowing that he already has this kid. So, I don't want her to be one of the ones like, oh, yeah, Tyreek Hill is a deadbeat daddy. But it's to be fair, you kind of did come, on the tail end when he was already having babies, and he had already had a couple different baby mamas and babies by then. So, don't be okay with it now so you can get the check and all that stuff. But, the slightest inconvenience for you, don't make it seem like, oh, well, Tyreek is this, and he can't do this, and he can't do this. We're just going to have to wait and see how this plans out. Now, we're going to have one more topic before we get on out of here. But y'all know we like to do this. I've been chatting for a little bit. It ain't been that long. Been a couple minutes, like 10, 15. You know who counting. But what I want y'all to do, we're gonna go to a commercial break. Go get your snacks. If you indulge in whatever essential you need to get you through the day or listen to the podcast, go get that. Go get your snacks, and we'll be right back after the commercial break. We back. Hope y'all went, got y'all snacks, y'all drink before we finish this. Talk about the next post, and we gonna get y'all there. I'm not gonna hold y'all too long today, but I do appreciate y'all for tuning in. Got another post. Seemed like these posts seem to be getting a lot more attention as we kind of progress. But let me just get into it, then we gonna talk about it like we do. Um, if my man don't like it, I'm not doing it. He doesn't control me. I respect him. Let's talk about it. Great post. Come from the world of X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. But it has been getting a lot of attention. It's got the people talking. Now, is this rational thinking or is it irrational? Now, I think now the game has shifted a lot, okay? But not much as maybe as we thought, because we were under the pressure, the women empowerment. We got a lot of the female rappers and, women just knowing what they will put up with and what they won't put up with. Now, when that happens, everybody's like, that's how you should feel, women empowerment, you can do what you want. If you don't want to be in a serious relationship with this person, but you want to go on dates with this person, nobody is even blinking an eye anymore, right? Like you can't be shamed for doing what you want. That's the whole thing with the women empowerment. Oh, it's not. Oh, you're not a hoe anymore just because you're dating this guy. You're not sleeping with this guy, but you're hanging out with this guy, and then you're sleeping with this guy, and he's not even really in the picture. He does the least amount of everybody, but it's still okay. It's okay, right? You're women, you can do what you want, just know your worth, right? That's what they always talk about. I was under the impression that a lot of women are starting to shift to this ideology about, truly women being empowered and doing what they want. And that doesn't seem to be the case. When I see a post like this, it lets me know that there are still women out there that do actually, respect themselves, and not only respect themselves, but respect their partner. Now, me personally, this is okay with me. And I'll put it like this. A relationship, when you start in a relationship, when you're dealing with somebody, you want to have a strong foundation that's built on respect, right? That's already seems like what she's getting at right now, that she respects her man. Now someone be like, well, if my man tell me not to do this, like I'm not gonna do this, and then when you ask him to do something he don't want to do it, now you got an attitude. Yo, let's build a foundation. Look, you respect me, I respect you. It's gonna be exclusively mutually beneficial for the both of us. It shouldn't be a situation where like your girl is asking you to do something and you got to do it, but you ask your girl to do something and she don't want to do it. Like I said, it's a respect thing. Like if you're dating with just an insecure person in general, that's a little bit different. Because if you don't have a reason to really feel a way about certain things, I don't think that's something you should have to, bend how you like just bend your way of thinking or just contort your way of thinking just to please your partner. But if you come into a relationship like this already and it's like, yo, this is what the case is. Yo, if my man don't like it, if he gives me a reasoning, whatever, like I'm not doing it. And I think a lot of people confuse that with like, oh, like you have a controlling boyfriend. I think it's a fine line, right? Because if, let's just say for an example, if her man don't like, she's not doing it. And if she's dating a guy who's like, yo, I don't really like when you be having the yams, post up on IG, for people to reply and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, like if you got a man already, like it just makes me feel some type of way that you still post stuff like that. And she like, okay, like I respect my man because at the end of the day, if it makes him feel uncomfortable that I'm doing it, you should respect your man enough to at least have the conversation and come to an understanding, or be like, okay, babe, I get what you're saying. Like, I'm not gonna do that because of how it makes you feel. Now, it's got to be some substance, right? That was just an example, but some guys may feel like that. Honestly, it's like you don't want your girl cheeks all on IG and stuff like that. Like, and she posts like occasionally, she might post on a story or something like that. But it's like if you go on your girl's on her page and you just see the cheeks out a little bit like racy pictures, like for the most part, the average dude is gonna feel some type of way about that. You know what I mean? Regardless if it's your job or whatever the case may be. But what if he's like, yo, I don't, it makes you uncomfortable when, you post stuff like that on IG. But like when y'all go out together, you can wear the most revealing thing ever. Literally expose, whatever the case may be, and he don't trip. I think that's a healthy relationship because he's letting you know, like, yo, like somebody sees you in real life, cool, I'm not tripping, I'm not insecure like that. But like you posting on IG for people to just be able to see it whenever, that might be a problem. But like I said, I think that's a respectful conversation to have with your partner if you respect them. All this ultimately comes down to having respect for your partner. I mean, to me, it sounds simple enough, but like you just got to be able to have those conversations. Now, sorry, I'm gonna go. But back to what I was saying about how we even got on this topic. I think a lot of it just stems from you know, women feeling more empowered. Why this post might have went more viral? Because I saw people comment on it like, "Yo, like you, like, oh, is that your daddy or is that your boyfriend? Like, are you a, or is that an inmate and you the prison guard?" It's like it always got to go to the next level. But like I said, I think the game has definitely changed. I ain't gonna lie. For the most part, I mean, I ain't gonna say women are in charge, but women are getting to a point where it's like, yo, this ain't the 40s no more. Where the husband he goes to work, the wife's at home all day with the kids, dad comes back, he got the food, mom cooks. We not living in an era like that anymore. It's no matter if it's worse or it's better, that's just not the era that we live in. Women can do more for themselves now. They don't need men as much as they did, but there's always it's kind of like a two-sided coin too, right? Because at the end of the day, like as a woman, you want to be able to feel empowered and wear what you want and move how you want to move without being criticized or being shamed for how you're doing it, right? But this is also the other side of it because other men, like all men, aren't gonna want to deal with that. You want to be on your I'm a woman, I can do this, yada yada yada. That's cool, but every man is not gonna be okay with that. And as long as you're okay with knowing that information, that every man's not gonna be okay with it, and you still choose to do it, that is 100% okay, right? You just can't have it both ways though. Because if you're gonna be the one who's like, yeah, I can wear whatever I want, I can post whatever I want. If you're dealing with a guy and he likes to post, I don't know, shirtless pictures on his IG, trying to get Diddy's attention, how whatever he decides to wear in public, if you want that same respect for him, you have to give that same, or if you want that same respect, you have to give that same respect to him as well. But like I said, a lot of this stuff is a case by case situation. Everybody chooses to deal with things how they deal with it. But I definitely wanted to comment on this post because we talk about a lot of relationship stuff. A lot of this may sound like similar topics that we've talked about before, but that's just the era that we're in now. 2024 is different now. Like things are, I don't even know a better way to say it, but it's just like things aren't how they used to be now. You know what I mean? And that's okay as long as you're ready to adjust what that might be and however that does look. But y'all know I always got to bring it back to y'all. I'm not just gonna ask women. I'm gonna ask the men too. So I'm reading advice first. So I say, it's a dude that tweeted this. If my girl don't like it, I'm not doing it. She doesn't control me. I respect her. Is that okay? Like I said, case by case situation, depending on how you feel and how you move in your relationship, is going to determine if you feel that is true or not. Because I feel like a lot of times, women or even men too, if your girl wants you to come home or she don't want you to do this, and you tell the homie, they be like, oh, she got you whipped, like she controlling you and all this stuff. But it's like if you actually respect your woman, you're not gonna let that bother you. And that's how it should be, vice versa. I don't care how like the outside world might look at me for how I choose to, interact with my girl. That's how I interact with my girl. As long as she respect me and I respect her, that's all it's gonna be. Because you don't want to be in a situation where a girl is not thinking like this. Like everything you do is like more controlling. Because like I always talk about, it's a relationship. You guys are a team. You can't, if you are on my team and like, say it's 2-2, we playing basketball, whatever. Just a good example. If I'm telling you, yo, stop shooting, you're 0 for 6, stop shooting, and you keep shooting, and then we lose, I can't really, it's a team sport. I can't really put the blame on you, but like, we lost because you were unwilling to work with me as a team so we can actually get the dub. And that's how I feel all relationships are. Like, don't feel like because you have to do something, it's like you're sacrificing and it's gonna negatively affect you. I didn't think negativity got that many words in it, but how I just broke down so crazy, that's how I came out. No, but for real, like everything isn't necessarily negative. It's like when you're in a relationship, all this stuff should, as long as you're not disrespecting your partner or hurting your partner, you should be open to having these conversations with your partner, and your partner should be open to listen. That's something you can't ever forget. You guys are a team, always. So anything that your partner might say to you, don't take it as like, oh, they're just trying to control, they're just trying to do everything. Think of it as like he's trying to help you tell us, right? I don't know, but y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Women out there or men, like I said, flip it vice versa. But since this was a women's post, I want to focus more on that. But man, I want to hear you comment on it as well, how you feel. If my man don't like it, I'm not doing it. He doesn't control me. I respect him. It just seems like a very mature woman who's not, bothered by, social media presence or whatever the case may be, which is okay. And I think she gonna find her a good man, because I'm looking at something like this. I'm like, that is somebody that I can be a teammate with, because it's like she don't got no ego. When I'm telling her something, I'm not telling her to control her, but I'm telling her because I feel like this doesn't make me feel the best. This doesn't make me feel too respected as a man. Now, it's not my girl's job to protect my masculinity, but for the sake of the relationship, the better I feel, the better you feel, the better we feel. It's not like you make me feel better and I make you feel bad and we both gonna feel better. If I feel good and you feel bad, I'm not gonna feel good. And it should be vice versa. As a female, if you feel good but your man don't feel good, you shouldn't feel good about the situation, right? Sometimes relationships are about sacrificing, but ultimately, you guys are on a team together, and just always think whatever he's asked you to do or whatever request, don't make it seem like he's just controlling you. Take it as, man, he really cares for me. He really respects me. He wants to keep that respect, because you don't want to be in a situation where a girl is telling you something to do and you do it, and then you tell her to do something and then she don't do it. Once again, that's gonna be off balance. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be an equally yoked relationship, and that's when resentment starts coming. You know what I mean? She does something that's so minuscule, but you'll do some over the top just because you feel so disrespected by that one little thing, and it's really not that one little thing. It's just the buildup of you constantly being a team player and then not working. Excuse me, in your favor. But I'm not gonna hold y'all too long today. That's been another episode of the We Here Now podcast. And if you haven't already, if I can get a like, a comment, subscribe. We're trying to get into that algorithm with YouTube. As y'all can see, I've been putting out more clips and stuff like that just to help these numbers go up, to help get this content out to the people that actually want to see it. If you like this, got a friend, whatever the case may be, share it. Just constantly just name it. Man, I've been watching this dude, Mario Point, man, dude, so crazy. Man, let me just send the link. Something just as simple as that. Like I said, I'm trying to build a community of people that we support each other. You know what I mean? I'm not just selfish, not like y'all just gotta support me and I'm not gonna support you. If y'all are supporting me, I'm equally gonna get that back as well. I do camera work as well. So it's like, share some stuff, whatever the case may be. And like I said, if you really part of the army, you know what I mean? How you look out for me is how I'm gonna look out for you. Okay. But like I said, if I can get a like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell another friend, and they might tell somebody else friend, and that friend might, y'all get what I'm trying to, y'all get what I'm trying to say. But like I said, I appreciate you guys for tuning in with me. If this is your first time tuning into the podcast, let me get a like, a comment, and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. But only do that if you just heard me say it, and you might have already done it. I might have made you laugh. I gave you some good insight. Go ahead and give me a like, comment, subscribe. Like we talked about, we got the trifecta challenge going on. If you're a new viewer, you might not know what's going on. Okay, now the trifecta challenge, like I just said, is a like, comment, and subscribe. You cold. There's been a couple people already sending me stuff like, you cold. If you do all that, I'm definitely rocking with you. But if you're a recurring viewer, you've been here last week, the week before, 2 weeks before that, 3 weeks before that, a month before that, 6 months ago. You know I appreciate y'all. I'll be seeing y'all. And it's funny because a lot of times, like, put it on my YouTube channel. A lot of y'all are talking to me about it in the IG DMs. And if you don't follow the IG, it's already down below if you haven't been seeing it already. But it's at Mario the Cameraman on IG. But a lot of y'all like to comment on the post or on the videos on IG. Bring it to YouTube because somebody else might got that same thought process that you already have. And instead of just telling me, someone else gonna see the comment, they're just gonna put like, oh, I was thinking the same thing. No, but for real, I'm rocking with y'all. I appreciate y'all. Set it on the grind. And I didn't even mention I just hit my year last week. And like I said before, we're just gonna keep getting bigger and better. We're just gonna keep doing it up. Got a lot more content and short for you guys. But I just want to say I definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in. We locked in, and y'all know we back next week, and we got clips coming out Friday. We got clips coming out Monday. We got a new segment coming. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming. Just stay tuned. Rock with your boys. Been another episode of We Here on Podcast. Yes. I ain't even do that anymore. I just get out.